Good morning, students. Uh, in the 11th lecture, we started about construction and maintenance of drainage, and we already discussed about drainage, the different types of drainage, need of drainage, water in soil after heavy rain. The main aims of field drainage include types of field drainage, surface drainage and subsurface drainage, vertical drainage, that is tube wells, and we also discussed about design of surface drainage system, okay, design of drainage channel or ditches, and we also discussed about rational formula, okay, using the rational method. Runoff coefficient C has been discussed. In this second part of the 11th lecture, we will discuss about surface drainage channels, okay. When moisture content of soil exceeds beyond a certain limit, it affects the strength of soil. Road pavements are the structures which directly rest on underlying soil. Hence, it is necessary to keep the soil properly drained to ensure good strength. Okay, so in surface drainage channels, the drainage channels are normally designed using the Manning's formula. The required capacity of a drainage channel is calculated from the summation of the inflowing streams. The bed level of an open drain collecting flow from field pipe drains should be such as to allow free fall from the pipe drain outlets under maximum flow conditions with an allowance for siltation and weed growth. 300 mm is a reasonable general figure. Surface ditch arrangement. The ditch arrangement can be random, parallel or cross slope. Random ditch system used where only scattered wetlands require drainage, and in second, parallel ditch system used in flat topography. Ditches are parallel and perpendicular to the slope. Laterals which run in the direction of the flow collect water from ditches. Then surface ditch arrangement. You can see in the figure random ditch system and parallel ditch system. Okay. Design of subsurface drainage systems. Subsurface drainage system is the removal of excess groundwater below the soil surface. It aims at increasing the rate at which water will drain from the soil and so lowering the water table, thus increasing the depth of drier soil above the water table. Subsurface drainage can be done by open ditches or buried drains. You can see in the figure. Subsurface drainage using ditches. Ditches have lower initial cost than buried drains. There is ease of inspection and ditches are applicable in some organic soils where drains are unsuitable. Ditches, however, reduce the land available for cropping and require more maintenance than drains due to weed growth and erosion. Buried drains refer to any type of buried conduits having open joints or perforations which collect and convey drainage water. They can be fabricated from clay, concrete, corrugated plastic tubes, or any other suitable material. The drains can be arranged in a parallel herringbone, double main or random fashion. Drain pipes are made of clay, concrete or plastic. They are usually placed in trenches by machines. You can see in the figure. In clay and concrete pipes, usually 30 meter long and 5 to 10 centimeter in diameter, drainage water enters the pipes through the joints. Flexible plastic drains are much longer, up to 200 meter, and the water enters through perforation disturbed over the entire length of the pipe. Then arrangements of subsurface drainage. You can see in the figures, first parallel system, second double main system, herringbone system, random system are shown in the figures, that is arrangements of subsurface drainage. Subsurface drainage designs. The major considerations in subsurface drainage design include: first, drainage coefficient; second, drain depth and spacing; drain diameters and gradient; and fourth, drainage filters. First, drainage coefficient. Drainage coefficient. This is the rate of water removal by a drain to obtain the desired protection of crops from excess surface or subsurface water, and can be expressed in mm per day or m per day, etc. Drainage is different in rain-fed areas and irrigated areas. This is chosen for experience depending on rainfall. The following are the guidelines. Drainage coefficient for rain-fed areas. Here we can see the mean annual rainfall MAR, mm per year, and drainage coefficient mm per day. Ministry of Agriculture, Hudson, we have the values for different drainage coefficient for rain-fed areas. Okay. Then second, drain depth and spacing. Ditch situation and tube situation has been shown in figure, where L is the drain spacing, H is the mid drain water table height meter above drain level, D0 is the depth of aquifer from drain level to impermeable layer in meter, Q is the water input rate meter per day is equal to specific discharge or drainage coefficient, K is equal to hydraulic conductivity meter per day, capital H is equal to depth of water table. Okay. Then third, drain diameter and gradients. There are two approaches to design. First, transport approach, and second, drainage approach. In transport approach, assume that pipes are flowing full from top to end of field. Assumes uniform flow, widely used in United States, Canada and Germany. Used to design collector drains. These are in transport approach. And in drainage approach, assumes that water enters the pipe all down the length as it is perforated. Then second, this is more realistic. Third, widely used in United Kingdom, Holland and Denmark. This is used to design lateral drainage pipes. Then four, drainage filters. Drainage filters for tile drains are permeable materials. Example, gravel placed around the drains for the purpose of improving the flow conditions in the area immediately surrounding the drains, as well as for improving bedding conditions. Filters provide a high hydraulic conductivity around the drains, which stabilizes the soil around the prevent small particles from entering the lateral drains since they are perforated. Then types of field drainage. The different field drainage methods can be classified as horizontal drainage, subsurface drainage, surface drainage. Then subsurface drainage is also classified in tile or mold drains and in spectral drains, and in vertical drains it is tube wells. Vertical drains, that is drainage tube wells. The areas where there is sweet water, the pumped water is directly utilized for irrigation. In case of saline subsoil water and availability of fresh surface water, the drainage water can be used for irrigation after mixing with appropriate ratio. Drainage tube wells have larger pumping capacity. In the Indus basin, most of the drainage wells are having the 0.08 cubic capacity. In the Indus basin, even 0.17 cubic wells have been found economically viable. Drainage tube wells are installed in groups in such a way that cone of depression of individual wells overlap each other sufficiently. The conditions required for vertical drainage. Under what conditions we refer or prefer vertical drainages? If the following conditions are present, then vertical drainage is preferred over the surface or subsurface methods. First, an aquifer of adequate transmissivity. Second, adequate vertical permeability between the root zone and the water table. C. Extremely flat land, natural oblique surface drains are not existence. D. highly developed land where other forms of drainage may become expensive or not possible. And last, pumped drainage water can be utilized for irrigation purpose, etc. Okay, thank you very much.